Communications in 2008. He also served as the Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources between 2001 and 2004. Entering Parliament, most recently representing the United National Party, he established himself as a significant force in Sri Lankan politics. His death marks the end of a lengthy era of service in the southern province and the national legislature. Funeral arrangements for the former minister are yet to be confirmed. Colombo Chief Magistrate remanded former Sri Lankan Airlines Chief Executive Officer Kapila Chandrasena until the 17th of this month over the alleged Airbus bribery scandal. The court refused a bail application, noting that no exceptional circumstances were presented to justify the suspect's release. Investigations continue into allegations of bribery surrounding the procurement of Airbus aircraft for the national carrier. In a significant legal development, the court issued open warrants for the arrest of Shamindra Rajapaksa, son of former Minister Chamal Rajapaksa, and Priyanka Niyomali Wijayanayake, the wife of Kapila Chandrasena. Both individuals are named as suspects in the bribery case. The warrants followed a request by the Bribery Commission during today's proceedings. The Colombo Chief Magistrate ordered that the arrest warrants be circulated to all airports in the country. The Controller General of Immigration and Emigration received instructions to arrest the suspects immediately upon any attempt to enter Sri Lanka. Authorities must notify the Bribery Commission once the suspects are taken into custody. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce raised concerns over the proposed 2026 Inland Revenue Amendment Bill, warning it could damage investor confidence and strain business financing. Following a tax steering committee review, the Chamber cautioned that rigid deadlines for evidence and criminal penalties for minor lapses might compromise fairness for taxpayers. The Chamber formally urged the Ministry of Finance to revise these provisions to maintain a predictable tax regime necessary for economic recovery.
Now for some news in
Two students were involved in a tragic incident while attending to organize a big match held at the Pallekele Cricket Stadium in Kandy, leaving one dead and the other hospitalized in critical condition when their motorbike collided with a bus. The Sri Lankan rupee depreciated by 1.6% against the US dollar by the end of March, following external pressures from the Middle East conflict. Central bank data shows the dollar's selling rate reached 319 rupees and 31 cents, while official reserves rose to $7.3 billion due to foreign exchange purchases. Despite the currency dip, the external current account maintained a surplus of $487 million for the first 2 months of the year. The increase in reserves remains steady even as the government continues essential external debt service payments. Liberty Lands and Development secured full ownership of Scope Cinemas after acquiring all remaining shares as part of a major group restructuring. The move aims to consolidate the entertainment portfolio of the company and strengthen its commitment to world-class cinema experiences. Following the transition, Tushan Ranganamimanage stepped down as Chief Executive Officer and Director, effective on the 31st of March. US President Donald Trump has delivered a stark ultimatum to Iran, warning that American forces are prepared to systematically destroy the country's power grid if a new deal is not reached within weeks. Speaking a month into what the administration is calling Operation Epic Fury, the president claimed that Iran's military has been decimated and its leadership wiped out. Trump dedicated a significant portion of his speech to framing the current conflict as the necessary cleanup of past diplomatic failures. of offering an American security umbrella for the strait, he issued a blunt directive to nations relying on that oil to build up their courage and secure the passage themselves, adding that the US has no incentive in opening the Strait of Hormuz.
Straight and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will.
While regime change was not the initial goal, the deaths of Iran's top leaders have made it a reality. However, Trump concluded with a severe ultimatum for the surviving officials: negotiate now or face total infrastructure collapse.
Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all.
Following Trump's address, global financial markets reacted sharply. Oil prices jumped to $106 a barrel following warnings of intensified military action in the Middle East. Stock indices across Asia, including Japan's Nikkei and South Korea's Kospi, fell by as much as 2.6% as investors grappled with continued volatility and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz. In the meantime, the Iranian military rejected claims of depleted resources, warning of crushing and destructive retaliatory strikes against the US and Israel. The regional instability deepened as the UAE reported intercepting incoming missiles and drones launched from Iran. Concurrently, the Israel Defense Forces identified fresh missile launches targeting Israeli territory shortly after the prime-time address from the White House. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese expressed concern over the lack of a clear exit strategy, noting that while Australia is not an active participant, its citizens face rising costs due to the conflict. The ongoing maritime blockade in the Strait of Hormuz remains a primary driver of economic anxiety, as the waterway typically handles 20% of the world's oil supply. Analysts suggest that even if hostilities cease within the month, the resumption of normal shipping vessels will face significant delays. Former Fleetwood Mac member Lindsey Buckingham faced assault by a suspected stalker who threw an unknown substance at him in Santa Monica. The 76-year-old musician encountered the woman at an appointment before she fled the scene.
Sports News on Gold FM.
Tiger Woods turned down the role of United States Ryder Cup captain for next year's tournament in Ireland following his recent arrest in Florida. The 50-year-old faces charges of driving under the influence and property damage after flipping his vehicle in a collision last Friday. Through his lawyers, the 15-time major champion submitted a written plea of not guilty and announced a hiatus from professional golf to seek medical treatment. A judge has since permitted him to travel overseas for his recovery program. And that's it for now, but do join us once more at 1:30 for your news highlight. Bye.